He saw her stranded on a lonely road and helped repair her car, not knowing that she is a rich CEO. The rain in Ibadan didn't fall like a drizzle. It slammed the red earth like it had scores to settle. Thunder snarled across the rooftops, and lightning danced above Bodija like a prophet warning the land. Lauren Mitchell gripped the steering wheel of her black Tesla, her heart pounding faster than the wipers could beat. Her phone was dead. Her assistant hadn't called back. And her entire world, her company, her name, her legacy, was being dragged through Nigerian tech blogs like a bloodied garment. She should have stayed in Lagos. But Lagos was boiling with scandal, and she needed to breathe. So she had driven west to Ibadan without telling anyone, hoping the quieter city would help her think, help her hide. But now, her car was doing something strange. The dashboard blinked wildly, red symbols she hadn't seen before. Then came a hum, then a slow crawl, then silence. Dead. She cursed under her breath and stepped out into the deluge. The rain slapped her face, soaking her satin blouse and pinning her trousers to her legs. She popped the hood and stared at the car's innards like they owed her an apology. Nothing made sense. The engine looked fine. The battery wasn't wet. Then she noticed the road was emptier than it should have been. Somewhere between New Bodija and a quiet lane near El, she had taken a wrong turn. Her GPS had frozen hours ago. She turned around, hoping to see a light or hear a bike horn. Nothing. Then she saw him, a lone figure walking toward her through the rain, a dark hoodie pulled over his head, a backpack slung over one shoulder. His steps were calm, unhurried, and somehow steady, as if the storm didn't bother him. Lauren tensed. He stopped a few feet from her, rain cascading off his hoodie. "You all right?" he asked. His voice was deep, unbothered, almost kind. "No," she snapped, then softened. Sorry. My car just died. I think it overheated. Or something." He stepped closer, peering into the hood. "Tesla, right?" She blinked. "Yeah. You left it running too long in low power mode. These things get sensitive when the weather's crazy." He looked at her, then at the sky. "You got a power bank or a jump starter?" "I have a charger, but nothing else." He nodded. "There's a workshop about 10 minutes from here. I work there sometimes. Come on, I'll help you tow it." She hesitated. "I don't even know your name." He gave the faintest smile. "Aaron." She nodded slowly. "Lauren." Together, in the biting rain, they pushed the car to the edge of the road, and he called a Kiki driver passing by to help drag it to a workshop that looked almost invisible from the road, tucked behind a row of aging mango trees. Once inside, he flicked on a solar-powered light and pulled off his hoodie. Lauren's eyes lingered. His beard was neatly trimmed, his features sharp but gentle. There was oil under his nails and calluses on his palms, but he moved with the grace of someone who had once worn cufflinks. "You're not a regular mechanic, are you?" she asked, shivering. He didn't look up. "What makes you say that? You just seem different." Aaron only shrugged, grabbing a blanket from a bench and tossing it to her. "Sit. Warm up. I'll see what I can do." She did. As he worked in silence, she studied the room. Tools hanging from pegs, a dusty fan in the corner, a faded university certificate on the wall. University of Ibadan. Mechanical engineering. Honors. "You went to UI?" she asked, surprised. "I did," he said without looking up. Lauren watched him for a while. "I used to give talks there. On tech leadership." He smiled faintly. "Guess we missed each other." An awkward silence settled. The storm outside softened to a drizzle. Finally, he wiped his hands and turned. "You'll be fine now. Just needed a manual reboot." She stood, clutching the blanket tighter. "Thank you." "Really?" He nodded. "No charge. Come on. Let me at least buy you food or something." "I'm good. Please." Aaron tilted his head. "People don't just end up here by mistake." "You running from something?" Lauren froze. He didn't press. He just walked past her and opened the door. The air outside was cooler now, cleaner. "I'll walk you out." They stepped on the wet earth, and Lauren felt something shift in her chest, a strange calm she hadn't known she needed. But just as they reached her car, her phone buzzed. Dozens of missed calls. A breaking headline on Pulse NG. Expose. Lauren Mitchell implicated in company espionage scandal. Her blood ran cold. Aaron glanced at the screen, then at her. Slowly, something hardened in his eyes. "You never said you were that Lauren Mitchell," he said, voice low. She couldn't speak, couldn't breathe. The rain began again, soft and steady. Aaron turned away, and just like that, the piece she had found in the storm began to slip from her fingers. Lauren sat in the car, soaked from head to toe, staring at Aaron's retreating figure. The rain smeared across her windshield like guilt across her conscience. So he knew, or at least he had just found out. And she had lied. Not directly, but enough to matter. She should have told him the truth from the start. She wasn't some stranded traveler. She was Lauren Mitchell, tech CEO, publicly shamed whistleblower, and according to the blogs, the woman who betrayed her own company. Now Aaron, the quiet man with calloused hands and eyes that had begun to feel like shelter, was walking away from her. The next day, the Ibadan sun pretended it hadn't rained at all. Red dust swirled again, children played barefoot, and the small roads near Eliel carried on with their peaceful pace. But inside Aaron's small workshop, there was a quiet storm. He worked alone that morning, wrenching bolts too tight and banging tools with more force than necessary. His apprentice, a teenage boy named Taupe, watched him cautiously. "Oga, you dey vex?" Aaron didn't answer. He just wiped his hands and stared into space. Taupe tried again. "That fine auntie no come today." Aaron dropped the wrench and sighed. "Focus, Sabeg." But he couldn't. He couldn't stop thinking about her. Lauren. He had seen the headline with his own eyes. He had scrolled down, heart pounding. CEO accused of sabotaging board members. Leaked audio reveals internal dispute over whistleblowing. Lauren Mitchell vanished after press conference. Alleged legal threats mounting. It didn't make sense. The woman he met, the one in the rain, scared and stubborn, warm and steady, didn't feel like a criminal. But he'd been fooled before. 3 days passed. No calls, no visits, no explanations. Then, one humid evening, just as he was closing the workshop, she appeared. No car this time. Just Lauren, standing by the gate like a shadow the rain left behind. Aaron didn't move. Neither did she. Finally, she spoke. "I figured I owed you the truth." He opened the gate slowly and stepped aside. She walked in, hesitant. Inside, the workshop smelled of warm oil and iron. She perched on the edge of the bench, twisting her hands in her lap. "I didn't lie," she began, "but I didn't tell you everything." Aaron leaned against the wall, arms folded. "I noticed." She exhaled. "I was a CEO, still am, technically, but I blew the whistle on our board. They were embezzling tech grants. Millions of dollars meant for student programs. I had proof. I took it public. And they turned on you," he said flatly. "Yes." Aaron nodded slowly, processing. "And now you're in hiding?" She met his eyes. "I needed space. Ibadan seemed far enough from the storm. But you brought it with you." Silence. "I wasn't trying to fool you," she added softly. "You helped me that night. You didn't ask who I was." For the first time in months, someone looked at me and didn't see a headline. Aaron stared at the floor. "I've been that headline too, Lauren." She looked up. "What?" He walked toward the work table and pulled open a drawer. Inside were dusty clippings, old newspaper articles, printouts. He handed one to her. Bright Minds, the two men behind Walker Edge Technologies. She froze. "That's you." Aaron gave a bitter smile. "Used to be. Walker Edge." She remembered now. A startup that had once dazzled the tech world with a revolutionary engine prototype. It had gone quiet after a scandal. She'd assumed it was a failed product. "My partner leaked our designs," Aaron said, voice hard. "Sold them to a multinational. Took the money. Left me to rot." Lauren stared at the article again. "And your name disappeared from your own company." He nodded. "After that, I walked away. Came to Ibadan. Fixed cars. Stayed small." Their eyes met. And for the first time, understanding passed between them like an unspoken language. Lauren stood. "We're the same, then?" "No," he said. "You still want to fight." "Why don't you?" "Because I've already lost once." "You don't forget the taste of betrayal, Lauren. It stays bitter." She stepped closer. "But bitterness doesn't build anything. You're brilliant, Aaron. Hiding here doesn't change what they did. You deserve justice. You deserve more." Aaron turned his back. "Stop." "What?" Stop trying to fix me. I'm not. You are. And maybe I don't want to be fixed. His voice rose, sharp now. Maybe I don't want you here, stirring up things I buried long ago. She froze. You say you needed peace? Well, so did I. And you've turned my peace into confusion. Aaron. Just go, Lauren. Her chest tightened. Is that really what you want? He didn't answer, so she turned and walked out, each step feeling heavier than the last. That night, Ibadan felt quieter than usual. Aaron sat on the steps of his workshop, staring at the empty road. He should feel relieved. He had his silence again. His walls were intact, but it felt colder now. Across town, Lauren lay awake in a hotel room she never planned to stay in for long. The city outside blinked and buzzed, but her thoughts were loud. She thought of his hands, his eyes, the way he said her name like it didn't come with baggage. She also thought of how easily he asked her to leave. The next day, she packed. A cab waited downstairs. Lagos was calling. The company still needed her, the lawyers were circling, and the media would not forget her name. But as she reached the door, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She almost ignored it. And she picked up. Hello. It's me, the voice said. Her heart stopped. Aaron. There was a long pause. Then he said, I'm sorry. She sat slowly on the edge of the bed. For what? For pushing you away. For speaking out of fear. Silence. I haven't trusted anyone in a long time, he added. But that doesn't mean I should punish someone who showed up when I didn't ask. She didn't say anything. Her throat was tight. I don't know how to fight anymore, Lauren, he said. But if you still want to stand beside me, maybe I'm ready to try. Lauren closed her eyes. The city hummed around her, but inside, something settled. I'm not asking for forever, she whispered. Just now. I can give you that. And for the first time since the rain, she smiled. 3 weeks passed. Lauren didn't return to Lagos. Aaron didn't run back into hiding. They didn't talk about the future. Not yet. They shared quiet moments. Late afternoon laughter. Soft drinks on a bench outside the workshop as the wind picked up dust. Sometimes they spoke about the past, but only when the silence gave them permission. And then came the fire. It happened on Saturday. The sky was gray and sulking, and Aaron had stepped out to buy engine parts from a friend in Dugby. Lauren had stayed back, typing a letter to her lawyer about reopening her defamation case. The workshop was empty, calm, until it wasn't. It started with the smell, burning rubber, then the smoke. A neighbor screamed. Lauren ran outside and saw the black column rising. The fire was furious, chewing through old tires, climbing up the back wall. The metal roof groaned as the heat bit into it. People gathered, yelling, throwing buckets of water. Someone called fire service. Lauren choked on the smoke, coughing as she tried to drag out a metal toolbox. By the time Aaron returned, the fire had been smothered, but the damage was done. Half the workshop gone. Burnt tools, blackened walls, papers turned to ash. He stood at the edge of the wreckage, shoulders stiff, eyes hollow. Lauren approached him slowly. I think it was deliberate. He turned. I saw a man near the back earlier, she said. Didn't recognize him. He disappeared just before the flames started. We need to check the CCTV footage from the compound next door. Aaron was silent. Don't you get it? She said, voice rising. They're scared. They know you're thinking of fighting. Someone doesn't want you to try. They've already taken everything once, he said. Now this. They didn't take me, she said softly. He looked at her, really looked. For a moment, the air between them was so still it felt sacred. Then, slowly, he reached into his pocket and pulled out a creased brown envelope. Inside, old patent drawings, sketches, memos, a blurry group photo of him and 2 co-founders standing beside an engine prototype. Lauren exhaled. It's enough. We can build a case. Aaron nodded. Then let's finish what they started. 1 week later, inside a quiet office in a Agodi GRA, Lauren and Aaron sat across from a soft-spoken man in suspenders and glasses, Barrister Nambiok. He flipped through the documents with surgical precision, occasionally adjusting his rimmed glasses. You have a case, he said at last. A strong one. Aaron said nothing. Lauren leaned forward. What do you need from us? Courage, the lawyer said. Once we file, it becomes public. Your names, your faces. They will try to bury you. Aaron's jaw clenched. Let them try. The lawsuit was filed that same day. Aaron Walker versus Westcore Industries and co-founders of Walker Edge Tech. Charges: patent theft, fraud, defamation, and destruction of private property. Within 72 hours, the story hit the news. The mechanic who fought back. From ashes to justice, Aaron Walker resurfaces. And alongside every article, pictures of Lauren. She stood beside him in court. Every time, the co-founders came armed with lawyers, fake smiles, and hollow counters. We had no idea he still had documentation. The business was dissolved amicably. He walked away. Aaron's voice was calm and clear when he replied. I was erased. The judge listened. The evidence spoke. Emails, dates, codes, diagrams. And then, Lauren presented something no one expected. A signed NDA she had found buried in old company files from a consulting job she'd briefly done for a Westcore partner. It had Aaron's name listed under early-stage innovation contributors. It wasn't just evidence. It was the crack in the dam. Aaron looked at her, stunned. Where did you? She smiled. You're not the only one who digs through fire. 2 months later, verdict day. Ibadan was unusually hot. Even the trees in Jericho stood still like they were listening. Inside the courtroom, tension curled like steam from a pot. The judge read the verdict with the gravity of thunder. Aaron was awarded full intellectual ownership of the original Walker Edge designs. He was to be paid 84 million naira in damages. The fire incident was ruled as targeted sabotage, still under investigation. When the judge struck the gavel, Aaron didn't cheer. He just turned slowly and smiled at Lauren. 1 month later, Victoria Island, Lagos. A new building stood tall with clean gray walls and glass that shimmered in the sunlight. The name at the top, AW Concepts, Aaron Walker's rebirth. Inside, the air smelled of new leather and ambition. Engineers moved between glass rooms. A mechanic bay sat proudly at the back, his past never forgotten. In a corner office, Lauren lounged barefoot on a sofa, flipping through a mock-up of their new AI vehicle system. Aaron walked in with 2 bottles of malt. Big madam. She raised a brow. CEO Lauren is resting today. Lauren, the unpaid partner, has clocked in. He laughed. We made it. We're not done, she said, sipping. We're just starting. They sat side by side, their legs touching. After a pause, he asked, You ever think about going back to Lagos? I'm here, aren't I? She replied. I mean permanently. She smiled. Wherever the fight is, I'll be there. But here feels like peace. He nodded, then cleared his throat. So, about us. Lauren turned. What about us? I have this crazy idea, he said. We keep doing life like this. You and me. Work, peace, small fights over paint colors. Big fights, she corrected. You picked those mustard chairs. That's unforgivable. He laughed, then reached into his pocket again. Not an envelope this time. A small box. Lauren froze. He opened it. Inside a ring. Simple. Gold. Steady. Like him. You fix my engine, she said softly. And then you fix my heart. I'm not perfect, he whispered. But I'm here. Whole. Honest. Finally ready. Tears welled in her eyes. Yes, she said. Before you even ask, yes. And as he slipped the ring onto her finger, the noise of the city faded. The fire had tried to ruin them. The past had tried to silence them. But they had walked through it together. Hand in hand, engine oil and elegance, scars and strength. Lauren and Aaron were home. If you enjoyed this story, like, comment, click on the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel to keep enjoying more beautiful stories from us.